Hello, everyone. We're back again. It's crazy to think March is over. March was a very long month, in my opinion, but I read books. I read more books, and I'm here to tell you what books I read and what I thought of them, because that's what I do here, and hopefully that's why you're here to see me talk about these books. Now, I told myself at the start of March, let's slow down. Let's, not read like an insane person like I had been. And thinking on the math, I think technically I did slow down, technically, big air quotes on that, compared to these last 2 months, but I also still read a decent amount, which is good. So we're just going to get right into it. Right into it. The first book I finished this month was The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan, the fourth book in the Wheel of Time. Now, I didn't like this one nearly as much as I liked The Dragon Rising. I still think so far The Dragon Rising is the best Wheel of Time I've read. This one felt a little slow in places, a little, uh, you know, I wouldn't say padding, but it definitely felt like a lot was going on, but at the same time, nothing important was going on in this book. I will say there was a lot of very interesting lore in this book. This one had a lot of lore to the world, which I thought was cool. And it also had a lot of my boy Perrin, my favorite guy, Perrin, which is awesome. And it had, the other two, Matt and Rand. And they were together, which is cool. But yeah, still, it was good, but it wasn't The Dragon Rising. The Dragon Rising is still the best one, and I can't really articulate why. It just is. Next, a little bit of a shorter book, a little bit of something else. We have Darkly Dreaming Dexter by Jeff Lindsay. I've watched the first season of Dexter, which this book kind of is. It has some similarities, but not a. It has a lot of similarities, but it also has a fair amount of differences. And I liked it, but when I realized, oh, there's books, I had to read the books because I don't like watching TV. I feel like I'm wasting my time watching TV. Like, I can read a book way faster than I can finish a season of a TV show. At least it feels that way. But this was good. I really liked the writing. It had a lot of weird, like, descriptors and, like, what's the word? Not onomatopoeias, but, like, just that kind of thing. It's a weird way to describe a story about a man who murders serial killers, but it felt very whimsical in its writing style. It was fun to read. Fun is honestly the best way to describe this book. Fun, just fun, and it's also super short. So like you can probably finish this in a day. Then we've got a book I probably should have read a long time ago because honestly I forgot a lot of the characters and what happened before. But we have Rule of Wolves, the last for now. Please don't let it be the last one forever. Grishaverse book by Leigh Bardugo. I did not like this one nearly as much as I did any of the other ones, but like I said, I think that was just because it was so long since I read King of Scars. Like I'm pretty sure I read King of Scars in 2023, I want to say. Either like late 2023 or early 2024, and now I'm finally reading Rule of Wolves, so it's been like at least a year. So everything felt a little forgotten, mixed up maybe. But I still really liked it. I really like Leigh Bardugo. I really like the Grishaverse. If you haven't read it, I really like the Six of Crows duology. I think that's the best one. But it's fun. Grishaverse is just fun. It's nice. It's a cool magic system. Fun fantasy book, as always, because that's all I read. And because that's all I read, I was very excited for a little break away from fantasy. So we read The Firm by John Grisham, famously referenced in the show BoJack Horseman. I used to read a lot of Grisham in like high school. I don't know why I gravitated toward Grisham so much back then. It was like Grisham and Stephen King and Dean Koontz. That was like all I read back then because I was a normie. But I liked this. This was a fun, I guess thriller would be a good way to call it. Definitely a nice break from fantasy, and I really expected this book to feel like it was going to take forever, but this moved fast. This was really, really fun. It wasn't my favorite book. I don't even think I gave it 4 stars, but as a break from fantasy, fun. Very fun. And it's a Grisham book, so I'm sure you can find this at like any used store for like pennies on the dollar. Then my first ebook of the month was Legend Born by Tracy Deonn. I liked this a lot. Very interesting magic system. Very interesting main character. I'm excited to read the other two sooner or later. I really don't have a lot to say about the book, mostly because like it's YA, which is fine. I'm honestly surprised. I kind of guessed from the very beginning of the book. My assumption was like that this guy was gonna be blankety blank, and I was wrong. I won't spoil it if you are gonna read the book, but it was very nice. It was very what's the word I want to describe it as? Just breezy isn't quite the right word, but you know, it was YA, so it wasn't exactly the hardest challenge, which was nice. It's sometimes nice. I say this a lot, but it's sometimes nice to just read a book that is just a book and you don't have to think and sit and, you know. Anyway, after that, I was really hyped to read this because I've heard so much about this on other people's booktubes, book talks, books, blah, 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 blah. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, my first Brando Sando. I adored this book. I ate this book like candy. This was awesome. I already bought the second one because this one was just so good. The magic system was awesome. All the characters were awesome. It was just fun, and I understand why Sanderson has the reputation he does, because this book deserved it. This was great. This was an awesome, awesome fantasy book. If you haven't read it yet, if you like fantasy, please, please, please give this a try. This was so good. So good. Okay, next. We have a book that really, really surprised me, honestly. I did not think I was going to like this book as much as I did. It was the 5-star book of the month. And that was Margot's Got Money Troubles by Rufi Thorpe. This book, Margot's Got Money Troubles, blew me away. I was legit surprised. Essentially, the plot is a woman, Margot, has money troubles because she has a child and no father, a single mother. So she starts an OnlyFans account. And I don't know. It's weird to call this book surreal because in reality, everything that happens in it is pretty grounded, but there's just something like all the characters in this book feel way bigger, and which I guess is kind of intentional considering there's a lot of professional wrestling talk in this book, so maybe that's the point. Like all the characters are supposed to feel big and exaggerated like professional wrestlers, but like it was just a blast. It was so fun. I loved every single character except Ben or whatever that guy's name is, but I think you're supposed to dislike Ben. Just so good. So it's funny, it's surreal, it's also somehow realistic, it's heartfelt. I don't know. Something about that book really just hit me in a way, and that was good soup, as they say. Next, a book that is the opposite of good soup, at least to me, and that was Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I'm not too proud to admit that I did not understand this book. Like, it was fine, it was surreal, it had some funny moments, and I understand that a lot of people tout it as like, ooh, big anti-war book, and maybe I wasn't reading deep enough or thinking about it deep enough, but I didn't understand what was going on. I mean, I understood what was going on, obviously, but I didn't really understand what the message that this book was trying to convey was. It was fine. I think I gave it a pretty low score. It just wasn't... I don't know. It didn't click with me. Like I said, I probably was only using half of my brain. And then the very same day I finished that, I finished The Tombs of Atuin, the second Earthsea book by Ursula K. Le Guin. Now, I read the first one. I read A Wizard of Earthsea a long time ago. Probably like 2021, 2022. And I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. So I finally, took me this long to get around to The Tombs of Atuin. And while I don't think it was nearly as poetic as Wizard of Earthsea, because Wizard of Earthsea really did feel like poetry a lot of the time and not just fantasy, but this was cool. main character's a female, you know, female empowerment in a way. Ged's back. We like our boy Ged. Interesting desert setting that really made me think of those Terry Pratchett books about the people that are obviously just ancient Egyptians, but they aren't called that. Fun. I liked this book. I finished this in one day, which I told myself I need to stop doing, but I did it anyway because I'm a evil, nasty, disgusting criminal. But I liked this. I really do want to be better and read the other the other 4 Earthsea books, not in 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I liked this one a lot. Kayla Gwyn, she's good. She's good. And then the last book I read, I just finished on the 30th, and that was Vampire Hunter D5, the Stuff of Dreams. Here's the thing about Vampire Hunter D. These books are the same book. At least the first 5 books have all been the same book. D shows up. Every woman in town is like, oh my god, D is so handsome. He's so cool. I'm in love with D. Something is wrong in the town. D is there to fix it. The sheriff or like the local mayor or whatever of the town is like, I don't think you should be here, D, because you're a Dhampir and we don't like Dhampirs because we don't like vampires. And D is like, because D has like 4 lines of dialogue in every one of these books. And then D's magic left hand is like, hey, we should kill this guy. I don't know. They all feel so formulaic. At least, like I said, I've only read the first 5, and there's like 30 of these books or something. And I don't know. They're not bad. Like, I know I called certain books like popcorn books or potato chip books in the past, but D makes those books feel like a steak dinner, honestly. Vampire Hunter D books are just so like boring and also samey, but I keep reading them because, like the stupid Disney books that I hate, I bought a whole bunch of them in a Humble Bundle a long time ago, and I'm too proud to stop because they're not so bad that they're offensive. They're just bad enough to be boring. Yeah, that's it. That's my books. So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Right? Yeah, 10 books this month. So I'm down from my like 12, 13. That was the last 2 months. Overall, I'd say this was a worse reading month than the last few. Like, really, the only 2 highlights were Margot's Got Money Troubles and Mistborn. Hopefully next month will be better. I don't know. Honestly, the way things are going right now, I don't think I'm going to read many books next month because I started a while ago, probably 5-6 days ago. I started the first Malazan book, Garden of the Moon, and oh my god. Reading this book is an uphill battle. I'm going to finish it because, again, it's one of those things where it's not bad. It's just like, I don't know. And I know people say they get better after that one because there was like a 9-year gap in between the 2 books. It's just so like, and then after that I have a Wheel of Time book to read, which are huge, so it's going to take me forever. And then on the ebook side of things, right now I'm reading the very first Battle Mech. It's some sci-fi thing, which I like these books, but again, popcorn books. They're books I read at work. I don't know. I'm literally saying nothing at this point. But as always, if you watched this far, thank you. I really do appreciate it. If you want, tell me what you read this month. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to discuss it with you. I love talking about books, obviously, because I've been talking about books for 14 minutes or so. Thank you. Good night. Enjoy your April.